Okay, in this video episode, I'm going to show you how to graph a rational function. Let me just read it to you. We have y equals, on the top, 2 plus 3x, down below, x minus 1. Now, in order for us to graph this, first we need to rewrite it in a graphing-friendly format. And the format we're going to put in is this format right here. This represents the look of a hyperbola graph, and it's y equals a over x minus h plus k. We have asymptotes. The first asymptote is at y equals k, and the other one is at x equals h. So we want to rewrite this into this format. How do we do it? Well, we rewrite it by doing the process of long division of polynomials. So this is going to be a division of polynomials. So let me go through that division process. All right, let's go through it. Now, before we write up the numerator, which is 2 plus 3x, we need to write it in an opposite format, in descending order. So it'll look something like this. So it will be 3x first plus 2. Notice the x to the power 1 is on the left and the constant is on the right. Now over here we're going to put the what? It's called the divisor, x minus 1. We're going to divide that into that. We'll go through the steps of divide, multiply, subtract. Divide, multiply, subtract. Let's do that now. So let's divide x into 3x. How many times does x go into 3x? It goes in 3 times. Now we multiply. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. So now we subtract. Put a minus there. So what do we have now? We have 3x minus 3x. That's a 0. We have 2 minus 3. That means plus 3. So 2 plus 3 is a plus 5. So that's our remainder. Remainder equals 5. Where does that remainder go? It goes right over there where the a is. So the 5 goes there. What goes underneath there? Well, that's the divisor, x minus 1. And the quotient, that's our quotient right there. Let me write that in there. Quotient. The quotient is the k right over there. So let's rewrite it now. It looks something like this. It's going to be y equals, on the top is the remainder. Now remainder is 5 all over our divisor. That's x minus 1 plus our quotient, which happens to be 3. Let's put the quotient there. Okay. There it is written for us. Okay, we have rewritten it in a friendly format for us to graph. Now that we have this, we can graph it up there. So what can we see? Well, what are the asymptotes? The asymptotes are, the first one is when this is x equals 1, y x equals 1, because 1 minus 1 is 0. We cannot have a 0 as a denominator. It means that it will be undefined. So that means that x equals 1. So we got asymptote at x equals 1, and we also have an asymptote at y equals 3. Okay, there are 2 asymptotes. Let's put them on nice and quick. All right, the first one. Let's put the first one. We usually have a dashed broken line for that. So we have x equals 1. X equals 1 will be a vertical line, and it will look something like that. There's x equals 1, our first asymptote. Now let's put the next one. It's going to be at y equals 3. That'll be horizontal. Y equals 3, straight across there. Let's put that in there. Y equals 3. Okay, there's our second asymptote. So let me just mark them up now. So we said that this one is y equals 3. And this one is at x equals 1, the 2 asymptotes. Okay, what's the curve going to look like? Well, if you remember the drawings of hyperbolas, a positive hyperbola kind of has that kind of look, but because we have asymptotes that's moved it across up that way, it's going to be a curve like this and like that. But just to confirm it, it would be good to plot 1 or 2 points. I'm going to plot one of them. I'm going to pick a point that's easy. Let's say we plot a point at x equals 0, which is the y-axis. So I'm going to substitute x equals 0. So if I substitute x equals 0 into this formula right here, it means I will have 5 over 0 minus 1 plus 3. What's that going to give us? Well, 5 on negative 1 is negative 5, so that means we'll have negative 5 plus 3. That means we'll have negative 2. That means at y equals negative 2, x equals 0. Let me just put a box on that. There's 1 point. We can plot 1 point. Okay, x equals 0 is the y-axis, and y equals negative 2 is at the point down here, y equals negative 2 right there. So that's a point, so the curve's going to go like that through there. So let me just put a sketch of that. Let me plot it nice and solid. So it's going to look something like that, roughly. There's the curve. It's going around like that. It's not touching the asymptote at all. It's just getting closer and closer as it goes across to infinity that way, negative infinity. So the other one's going to be a curve up along there. You can plot another point if you wish, just to confirm. But it's going to look something like this approximately. There you go, like that. There we go. It's going up that way and across there. So there's our hyperbola. Let me just mark it up again. So y equals 5 over x minus 1 plus the quotient, which is 3. There's our curve.